There is nothing wrong with your television. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are now controlling the transmission. We control the horizontal and the vertical. We can deluge you with 1,000 channels or expand one single image to crystal clarity and beyond. We can shape your vision to anything our imagination can conceive. For the next hour, we will control all that you see and hear. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the deepest inner mind to the outer limits.
What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. And today we have to talk about it. The Redskins have done nothing in free agency. Everybody, and I'm confused. I'm just confused. And I must be in some type of alternate universe, some type of alternate reality where I'm just not getting what other people are seeing. Because we've signed so many guys, and everybody is talking about we're signing depth. But yet we got these massive holes in our team. Like, we have a massive hole at tight end. Jordan Reed is gone. Vernon Davis is retired. We have a massive hole at tight end. Jeremy Sprinkle couldn't keep his hands on the ball. How do we not see this? How do we not get this addressed in free agency? We're gonna have a massive hole at left tackle. A massive hole at left tackle. We did not address this. And for all of you who are sitting out there talking about, oh, you just want us to spend like we were spending years ago. No, it's not about spending like we did years ago. It's about spending on things that make sense. It has to make sense. Like, there's no way you can look at what we signed in free agency and say, yes, we made the right moves. These were terrible moves. And I don't care what any of you guys say. Let's run down the list of what we got. Wes Schweitzer, or however you say his name. The guy is a backup offensive lineman who wasn't even good enough to start in Atlanta. And Atlanta had a bad line that year. He wasn't even good enough to start on a bad line. So understand that. Then we bring in almost 40-year-old Thomas Davis. He's an aging linebacker who's had a history of injuries. What am I missing, people? What am I missing? Then you bring in Sean Davis, who's also have an injury history, even though he's young. Yes, you signed him to a 1-year deal. But there's no way. Again, you sign him and you have a gaping hole there. A gaping hole there. I'm confused. He became expendable because the Steelers were able to get Minkah Fitzpatrick. Understand this. Then we go out and sign Kevin Pierre-Louis, who is a special teams linebacker. He's not even a starter. We basically overcrowded our linebacking core, and we didn't even get quality guys. That's insane. We re-signed John Bostic, who everybody was talking about was slow and could barely tackle and things like that. And he was missing tackles. We re-signed him. We signed J.D. McKissick, who isn't even as good as Chris Thompson, who stayed injured all the time. I'm blatantly confused by this. Because the money should have went to quality players that we needed to fill major holes in our team. one being tight end. Then we go out there and we sign Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas, who, by the way, was benched because Detroit sat up there and drafted T.J. Hawkinson last year and signed Jesse James last year. So clearly he wasn't even good enough to start or play games in Detroit. The last time we heard about Logan Thomas was when I think he played for Buffalo, and he was fairly good in Buffalo, but he was nothing in Detroit. So I'm absolutely confused about how so many of you think that what we're signing depth. We're signing depth. Not to the money. No. You don't waste that type of free agent money to sit up there and just sign backups. Now, it could be a thing where these players just don't want to come here, but we're also acting like we're not going to pay them. We're also acting like we're not going to pay them. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this because y'all need to hear this. Other teams have gotten better than us. Other teams, just in free agency alone, they've gotten better than us in free agency. So imagine when the draft comes around, what they're going to do is do nothing but get even more better. So let me break this down. Let's talk about, and I'm just going to talk about solely about the Redskins competition, the NFC East, and give you guys a breakdown of other players teams have gotten. Let's start with the Giants. The Giants have re-signed Elijah Penny, the backup running back to Saquon Barkley, who actually did a fairly good job when he came in for Saquon Barkley. He's not a bad running back. That was a smart signing. They re-signed David Mayo, their awesome linebacker. They did a great job with doing that. That was such a smart re-sign. Then they franchise tagged Leonard Williams, the massive defensive tackle that they got from the Jets. They franchised him so he couldn't go nowhere. And they gave him I think it was exclusive tender. They signed Blake Martinez, the former inside linebacker with the Green Bay Packers. They signed Blake Martinez. I wonder who sat up here and talked about the Redskins getting Blake Martinez. I wonder who that was. Anyway, then they got James Bradbury. So understand this. The Giants were practically in the same boat that the Redskins were in last year. They were practically in the exact same boat that the Redskins were in. And yet they improved their team with just a few signings. Again, I'm not sitting here saying blow up, just get every high-priced free agent there is because Amari Cooper was stupid, but I'll get back to that. Again, I'm not saying just go out there and just spend all your money. What I'm saying is spend it smartly. Smartly. The Eagles. Let's go to the Eagles. The Eagles traded for Darius Slay. Darius Slay. Already bolstering their secondary. They re-signed Jalen Mills, another secondary person. They re-signed Rodney McLeod, another secondary guy, a guy who plays corner and safety. And they signed Javon Hargrave. So basically, they signed these defensive backs with the understanding that they were going to do what? Stop the Redskins' new passing attack. Think about that, people. Even the Philadelphia Eagles are thinking about how dangerous our young wide receiver core is going to be. That they went out there and they traded for Darius Slay, re-signed Jalen Mills, and re-signed Rodney McLeod. There's a reason for that. There's an absolute reason for that. Now let's go to who we hate the most. The Dallas Cowboys. They signed Gerald McCoy. Now understand this. Gerald McCoy happens to play on the exact side where we have holes. We have a hole at left tackle. We have a hole at left guard currently. Understand this. Gerald McCoy plays on that side. So imagine Gerald McCoy always blowing up your left side in Dallas. They re-signed Anthony Brown, a defensive back. They re-signed Blake Jarwin, their tight end, who was actually fairly decent, which is why they let Jason Witten walk away. And they re-signed Amari Cooper. Now, I want to talk about Amari Cooper a little bit because a lot of you were sitting up there talking about you would have paid that money for Amari Cooper. Have you lost your mind? $100 million for Amari Cooper? Amari Cooper. He's not even one of the top 2 wide receivers in the league, and yet and still you was going to pay $100 million for Amari Cooper? They were talking about the Redskins was willing to give up $23 to $25 million for Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper. He's not even one of the best wide receivers there is in the league because of the fact that he gets shut down in games. There are times where he completely disappears in games, and yet and still they're talking about the fact that of signing him. The Redskins were possibly going to sign him to a bigger deal than what Dallas gave him. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's no way. It's absolutely no way. Clearly, this is the Outer Limits, the Twilight Zone, Friday the 13th, all types of stuff. Because you know why? It makes no sense. This plan makes no sense. The fact that a lot of you are sitting here acting very delusional to what's going on. And I understand that you want to believe that Ron Rivera has good intentions. But understand this. In Carolina, Ron Rivera had a general manager. Marty Hurley made sure that that stuff was put in place, and when there were certain players that made no sense to re-sign, made no sense to bring back, and things like that, Marty Hurley had to make that decision. Ron Rivera is coming here, and this is the first time he's making these type of decisions. Is this guy really going to make the decisions that need to be made? Because again, to me, a lot of these current signings, even though everybody's talking about depth, and we signed another offensive lineman, Cornelius Lucas. What? A guy who's basically on his 15 in like, what, 6-7 years? I mean, the guy has been a traveling man, a journeyman lineman all this time. What are we doing, y'all? What are we really doing? And there's no way we're going to accommodate all these holes in the draft. Because understand this, our picks are number 1, we got a first round pick, a 3rd round pick, a 4th round pick, a 5th round pick, and a 7th round pick. That's 5 picks, people. 5. That's all we got. That's all we got. That's all we got in this draft. Yeah, we might make some trades and do that, but we can't trade any of our picks right now because, 1, our picks are too high in damn near almost every round. So if we trade the 3rd round pick, we would have to get a 2nd rounder. But even with that, the 2nd rounder may be a low 2nd rounder. So, and then you're not picking in the 3rd. So we don't have a lot of draft capital. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't see the plan. I don't see the understanding. I don't see the benefit, especially when you got massive holes. I just don't see it. Now, don't get me wrong. Maybe the Redskins will win. Maybe they will be better. But currently right now, I don't see it. I just don't. I know y'all may be mad at me, but at the end of the day, my loyalty is to the Redskins and them winning. And currently right now, I don't see them doing much of nothing. This has been your man, John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.